How's everyone doing? I'm Mike Gilcreast with the Mike Gilcreast Show. We grateful to be here. Thank you for everyone that's tuned in to be on board with us today. Oh my God, it's Friday. And Friday, I mean, it seems like a Saturday, a day full of errands, but we had such a dynamic day, crazy, awesome, beautiful. Some sunlight. I got a little sunlight, but not much. As you know, as I said last time, we're down in Melbourne, Florida. This whole week, and tomorrow's the last day. And oh my God, we've having a splendid time, and so I must say it like that because I'm meeting people from England, and I just love the accent, the proper English, and say, oh, darling, it's splendid. And so I'm like one after another meeting people from Dominican Republic, shout out, and so just having a well of a time, and this signing has been so magnanimous. It's been so great, been so awesome. Every book signing is a new experience, meeting new people, and it's like I said. That's why I say it's dynamic because I get a joy out of meeting such wide variety of people with all kinds of circumstances and that they and issues and problems and t- t- I would say today, but all this week it's been different for me, and I'm ecstatic, I'm excited, and just full of amazement because it's unbelievable. You can't ask for this, and when if I had to ask for this week to be the way it was, I wouldn't know where to start. I really wouldn't, and you're gonna hear more and more stories because every book signing is pretty dynamic. I'm beginning to meet people. I'm beginning to build relationships, and so forth, so on. It's just, oh man, it just it's a lot, and it's beautiful at the same time. And I tell people all the time, I say, I love this, I love this, I love this, because I get to connect to people. I'm free. Absolutely, I'm free and free to enjoy what I'm doing. Oh, it's just over the board, over the top, and just it's just a lot. And I'm just overwhelmed with goodness and mercy and just accolades. The people just showing up, and the people are excited that I'm an author. Like, oh wow, they're like, oh my God, and it makes me feel so warm felt that people are excited about me, and I'm like, oh, how could this be? But God has blessed me to write a book that's effectuous. It's touching so many people's lives. It doesn't matter where you're born, it will touch you. It doesn't matter what country, because we're selling books to people from different country and Britain. And the lady yesterday, and she was a minister, and I think she's from Australia. It was Australia or England. She had such the proper English, and I'm like, oh wow. And so people are just lovely. And you'll see some of the pictures out there once we get done with the week. And you go to our Instagram, Twitter, just Facebook. It's going to be. We'll put pictures out there because we love it. And then some people didn't want pictures. So and then they like, I hope you're not offended. I said, if you see a lot of pictures out there, it's probably that many of people that didn't take pictures. And we're okay with it because we want people to feel good. The most important thing, you get the book, you read it, and it's a great possibility it may change your life for real. And I always say I'm just amazed as we talk about it time and again how they're teaching it in churches. You know, but we're here, and if you only knew what I went through to get here, oh my God! We finished. We were closing up, and like 10 minutes or quarter to five, and people kept coming, and we sell a book, and then someone came again, and we sell a book, and someone. I'm like, what's going on here? I'm trying to get out of here, and then we was trying to buy a brand new TV because they had a sale on Sony TVs, and so we was able to get the TV, and then we had to get a quick bite to eat on the way up, and then we drive hour and a half to get here. And now we're here at this time. That's why we're a few minutes behind, but we're okay. We're okay. And I'm just excited. And even before I go on, I met a young lady yesterday, and I told her, I say, tune in, because I'm going to bring you. I'm going to listen to you. I'm going to talk about you, because we had a moment. Believe it or not, we had a moment. You know how you had a moment and your heart is touched? we had that moment. We had a moment and we were sharing with each other. And a beautiful young lady, her name's Ivy, and Ivy, hello, God bless you. You touch me. But just a shout out to Ivy. And I told her I was going to mention her out here. But we were talking about how we look at where we are today and we wouldn't have been here. And I told her, and she talked about how she had a praying mother, and I'm like, I had a praying mother because I know I should have been in jail. I should have things. My life should have been upside down. But but look at me now, where I could have went down so many paths. In my book, yes, my book, I was a mess. But you'll see that as I turned around, even in my book, Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven, you'll see how I turned around. But my story, and I have people from all walks of life, everybody telling me that this is their story too. People identify to me with this book. This book. They identify with me, this book. And I'm like, it just touches my heart, my book, my life story. And I talked to a gentleman today, and he was like, he said, "What was your nickname? Being that you did all the stuff you did, when you was a young man." And I told him, they said they called me Mike, he said they called me, and I'll mention they called me the bald head evil doer. And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But the guy, he wasn't ashamed of his life. And the thing is, we all, I don't care who you are, we all have done something. But Ivy and I was almost, to tears, for real, talking about how our parents, our mothers and our grandmothers prayed for us. Some people that didn't have mothers and the grandmother raised them. So it was the grandmother that kept them in that light and right before God. But we talk about how, they pray for us and pray for us and pray for us. And look where I am. Because I know without prayer, even before I come on the show, I'm praying for real. And so I know prayer got us back here because the traffic, I'm telling you, God just opened up the road. We had no traffic, and I was so close to home, and I missed my exit, and so I turned around, and when I got off the exit, I was a mile closer than I was if I would have got off at the exit. Now, how ironic is that? And so it worked out in my favor really well, but prayer. And I thank God for Ivy because I'm telling you, we talked and talked, and we could have just had church at my book signing for real. And it was just so touching and how we reminisced on how our parents, grandparents, our grandmothers, our mothers prayed for us for real. And I was sharing with her and to someone else. I said, one of my biggest joy is before my mother went home to be with the Lord, right? She died, and I said she was able to see me preach my first sermon in Akron, Ohio. I preached my first sermon in Akron, Ohio as a deacon, for real. And so that was heartfelt to me to look back and see how many times my mother prayed for me and look where I am today. Look how my life turned out. I should have been dead or in jail, but prayer, oh my God. Mm. Let me take a moment, Anyway, I prayer. I can't say enough about it, but I'm here today to share my story with you, to share your story to the world, because we're here and people are tuning in. We're growing. Thank you for hitting those buttons and subscribing. And before I move on, I don't want to forget this young lady. I saw her yesterday, and then I went to get gas. I had to get gas before we left, and she was at the gas pump, and this beautiful young lady. Um, oh my God, she was just awesome, and and we're able to share stories and me. me being able to share into her life and seeing the change, seeing the changes that's happening, to her. I feel like having church up in here because I feel good. And so, but seeing the changes in her life, I'm like, wow. And you can see the glow on her face. And I'm expecting this lady to do great things, and her name's Shauna. So shout out to Shauna. And I didn't forget you. I got you. If I keep meeting her, I'm going to have to make her one of my daughters, And so I have a lot of daughters out there who I was able to get come into their lives and share stories and even guide them in some way, shape, or form. And I'm just thankful that people are listening, and that makes me feel heartfelt to show that my labor is not in vain. I have a love to see people do better and to overcome obstacles that stop in their life from achieving so much more. And so I want to be that added benefit to people's lives, even if it's just a few words. I had to come in this way. I couldn't wait to get here because my heart is just overwhelming. And I'm telling you, this is touching. And to give a shout out to Linda, she's saying hi to my wife and I, and a shout out to Tiffany. Good evening, hey young lady. And so we just know uh, um, how valuable just being able to talk to someone, or just touch somebody, or just hug someone, you know, and just for the sake of just to touch somebody, it can change your life or change that moment in your life. Isn't that amazing? And so feel the energy that I'm feeling because it feels pretty awesome. Feel this energy. And let's rock with it. Let's roll with it. Let's be happy. It's stuff around in our world that's around us that's trying to keep us depressed, keep us down, keep us out. And the thing is, we got to lift that stuff off us and say, I shall be free. I shall overcome, and it's going to get better. We got to speak life. There's nothing wrong with it. Speak life. Regardless of what your situation is, regardless of what you've been through, speak life. It will be better. Just a few words. But don't just speak it, believe it, you know? And not to preach to you, not to give you a sermon, just a word, you know? It's going to get better. It's going to be all right. All right? Wow. So we got another TV because, the one we had was too big, and then we were giving one away, and so it's making room, and they're awesome TV. We're just changing brands from going from uh, Samsung to Sony, and so we're keeping the S. All right. So enough of that. And so we have another TV because the TV we have is too big for where we are. So we'll put that in our bedroom, and we got another one. It was on sale, and like a Sony. Oh my god! And so uh, I'm 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 excited, and we have the surround sound to go with it, so it sounds like you're in a theater. And so have fun, enjoy life, and go from there. And so I'm just sharing, my life, my story with you all. I love this stuff, and I don't know what I'd do without it because I think this is therapy for all of us, for me and for you, and for me receiving it from you. I think this is just therapy, just to be able to talk because we got away from this. When these things, what these things are, PDAs, or cell phones, mobile phones, call it what you want. Once we start doing this, and once we start emailing and texting, we stop talking. And now it's time to start talking again. People need that affection, friendly affection. The filio, the Greek word filio, the friendship. We're missing that. Not everything have to be, sex, romantic relationship, whatever, but just the friendship of a person say, I got your best interest. Don't let cell phones and stuff divide us and separate us. Sometimes I start texting people and I stop texting, I erase it and call them. For real. Because they want to hear my voice as much as I want to hear their voice. It just we're so busy. Tell me who's not busy? Everybody's busy. And so we have to take time, take a moment. Remember, I said a couple sessions back, I said we have to take time and smell the roses. Life is going to pass you by. People are dying left and right. Smell the roses. Call your friends. Stop texting so much. Call. How you doing, girl? What's up, man? What's up, bro? Whatever, you know. And so just give a friendly. I just called to say hello. Right? There's a song. Was it Stevie Wonder? Say, I just called to say I love you. All right, I'm gonna keep my day job, even though I held that note. All right, and and I just call to say how much I care. Yeah, I'll leave y'all alone. All right, y'all gonna be like, keep singing. All right. So enough of that, and we're going off. Oh my God! Spread the word. Keep telling them to click subscribe. We're gonna talk about some great things, and not just. I'm not a time waster. Believe me, I ain't just drive an hour and a half to come and waste your time. You know, and so I like to keep people up to date, informed, and stuff like that. I want you to know what I'm doing, where I'm at, where I'm going. Because if you see me in your town, in your city, come and say hi to me. All right. If you see me close by, come and say. If you want to take a picture, we'll take a picture. If you want me to post it, I'll post it on my social media. All right. Because I'm glad to make people happy. If I can lift up your spirit, because people are going through a lot of things. So if you see me in your town, you know, we're soon to be in North Carolina, and I think in 2 weeks. And then after that, you know, we have other engagements to go. But follow us on the websites and my website, my webpage. Tune in the podcast. You always know where I'm at, what I'm doing. Even if I'm leaving the country, you're gonna know, okay? Because I want you to be looking forward to me. And if I can somehow take a limited amount of equipment and get online from where I'm at, because sometimes reception is just terrible, I would try to get online where I'm at because I love you guys and I want to be able to, you know, share my thoughts. My wife and I can give you a hello, you know, from afar. You're going to know who we are. We want to be in your living room. And speaking of that, I called my sister Marcia, and she said, "I'm looking at you in my living room." You know, it made me feel so good. You know, because you know how you could put on your phone or your whatever, or TV's got internet, and you could call me up right on your TV and watch it. Like wow, you know. And wow is, if you haven't noticed, it's either so or wow are two of my favorite words. Okay, and so you're gonna hear a lot of that because that's, you know, how I bring it. And so I see this thing, and it's so true because prayer got me here today. Prayer changes things. It does. It will. No doubt about it. And so we're going to keep that thing going. All right. And and what we're going to talk about tonight is this next question. All right. And so this is the place I want to be, because I'm like, we want to talk about relationships. And I told you 75 or 80 and maybe a little more percent of my shows will be about relationship. Bring the questions. Let's talk about it. If I can help you make better choices, people don't know who you are. People don't have to know who you are. But if you got a question concerning relationship, concerning marriage, concerning friendship, concerning family, whatever, even on the job. I'm 43 years in the government, and I've been through some same things, and I even had an EO complaint. So it's not too much that's going to surprise me. All right, and bring it. And let's work through it, and so we got better choices, and you could turn your frown into a smile. How about that? You know. All right, I'm drinking my water. And you see my cup, Bishop Mike, and it's water, right? It's mountain spring water in the glass, right? And so you got to be careful with all that plastic people drink out of. But anyway, it's water, cayenne pepper, and ginger and lemon. And so I drink it all the time. My body, my blood pressure, my diabetes, and all this kind of stuff have gotten so much better, you know. And it's like I teeter. Like one time I get blood, I have diabetes. The next one I don't, just because I'm doing this. But I'm doing some things to just completely eliminate it, you know. And so I'm so much better. I have so much energy, and my cholesterol was off the chart, and now it's like it's looking good. I'm like, I don't believe this. But just because I made some changes, I'm trying to live, you know, and even as I believe in my faith, says, the word tells us that we should live and what? Not die. And so Let's make some simple choices and live. Don't let food kill us. Don't let enemies kill us. Don't let our jobs kill us. Fight and fight within your minds in the battle that you're going to win it. And a healthy mind will also lead to you having a healthy relationship. All right. And so I gave my shout outs. We're moving forward. All right. And I'm just excited to be here to do and talk about these things. And so bring the questions and stuff. And we're just going to bring it in. But bring it on. All right. And so this question is like my theme, what it's going to be about, talking about. It says, how do you know when a relationship is over? I might have to get my wife to come and help me with this, And how do you know? That is a powerful question, but I want to talk about that. Because I think, right, before I even start, let me see if I can get my wife. Wife, you want to answer this question for me? You over there? Come on, girl. I don't bring my 2 cents, but you know, since you get two for one, and she's right here, and she was with me all day, and when she dressed, when she picks my clothes out, and so when we see us out, 9, 10, 10, we'd be probably be matching, and she lays me out, and people are like, wow, you look nice, and this, that, and other, and I didn't know this was like Veterans wearing Red Friday or something today, and so come on, how do you know? You want to help me out? All right, she's coming. She's coming. Give me two shakes, two shakes. See, we were dressed to light at the book signings. When you see the pictures, you'll see us out there. I wear this from time to time. I wear it when she tells me though. But anyway, go ahead. Just give them a quick snap. So, how do you know when a relationship is
Well, I can just say sometimes a relationship can seem like it's over, especially I'm coming from a marriage point of view. Sometimes it can seem like it's over, but yet it's not over. Um, Sometimes um, the enemy will have you to be fooled and tricked
that's the devil. That's it. When she say enemy, that's the devil. But go ahead.
into thinking that your relationship is over when it's absolutely not over with. Um, a lot of times, if we yield unto the devices of the enemy, we'll be fooled. And so sometimes we have to just allow God to if the relationship is not like sometimes if the person is not cheating on you, because that's the one of the reasons, or what should I say? How should I put it? One of the one, two, not like so much, but I'm trying to say that that is one of the uh one of the I just say reason. One of the reasons that the Lord allow someone to break break the marriage, break the vows, is if someone is cheating and you just can't handle it, you just can't handle it, and you just say it's over with, then that's excusable from the Lord's point of view. Um, but other than that, you're supposed to be able to mend every broken piece. And so sometimes we allow cloudy judgment to get in the way of seeing um, what's actually there. And so we're thinking that it's over, but it's not over. It's just our judgment is being cloudy by the enemy, because the enemy is there to break up families. He's there to kill and to destroy every family. And he starts with the head of the family, because if you take the head out first, if you can get to the head, you can get to the rest of the family. You can get to the wife, you can get to the children if that if they allow that to happen. But so he starts with the head first, or and sometimes he starts with the weaker vessel, but his angle is to really start with the head and start getting into the mindset of the head of the family, which is the man of the family. Um, and sometimes if it's there's no man in the family and it's just the woman and her children, then he will work with the lady of the house first. So I would just say, just be mindful of the attacks from the enemy, and that everything is not always as you see on the surface. Because what we are working with is spirits, and sometimes we get caught up in the flesh and not operate by not operating in the spirit. And we want to operate in the spirit and and not our flesh, because our flesh will have us thinking and this, that, and the other, and will get us in trouble. So that's why we have to make sure that we stay in tune and in line with God's word and the principles of God and what God says to do. And so hang in there. Just hang in there. If you married and there's no infidelity, and you can handle or if you can handle um um whatever that's going on in your marriage, then just fight for your marriage. Pray and ask God to lead the way and to help you in your marriage.
All right, all right. We appreciate the kind words from my wife, and she spoke of it from a marriage standpoint. You know me, I'm kind of like I won't say clairvoyant, but I like to kind of um, put myself in a lot of different relationships because I've been there, done that, kind of thing. But I lived through this. My wife, this is our first marriage together, but I've been married before. I've been in living arrangements and stuff like that, and so I try to give a more in depth overview because I've done both sides, whether marriage or just shacking up with somebody or on the adultery side. So whatever, however you want to look at it, I've been there, done that, and that's before church, before my wife now today. That was back in the past. But I talk about them things because I've lived it, and it seems like when I meet people, I'm reminded of stuff and situations that I've been in, and a lot of times it's hard. Marriage, relationships is hard. No matter how you look at it, it is totally hard. And only thing that makes it hard is us. It's how you see it, how you perceive it, and we're like, it's hard, it's too much, I can't take it no more. And really, um, you have to know your limitations and not take any credit away from anyone, but you also have to know when to quit. And so sometimes and I don't take this the wrong way, but we bring this suffering of a relationship that's over onto ourselves. And number one, and I've talked to plenty of women, seriously, and not in my relationship with me, but at my book signing. So I bring a lot of stuff are from book signings, from church events that I've been, because I do church events. I'm a motivational speaker, I'm a preacher, I'm a teacher. So I've traveled the world. I'm international. I've been in several countries preaching or teaching or whatever. And so I have a voice that travels. And I'm trying around the world, but at least for now, it's international. And so people listen to what I have to say, and people. And I'm saying people is just not your average person or someone's working in an office building. People from working in the Pentagon to judges, lawyers, doctors, whatever. People of those caliber as well. Not telling you who they are. It doesn't matter. I always say that, But I've been afforded to talk and give people feedback in various sessions on life, on relationships, on their relationship. And this question is not strange for me, and how you know it's over. And I think, and I'm not blaming women, right? But I think women know already that the relationship is over. One thing I told you, I think on the last session that we had, my last show, I told you, I said guys will stay. If I wasn't the last show, the show before last, I said guys will stay in a relationship and it's been over. They're just waiting till they feel like moving on. And I use the example of the lion. A lion, what you call the family of lions, and so the family of lions, and so not the right word, but that's what it is. And so they're with the mother lion and the cubs and stuff, and they're there on their it's on the tip of my tongue. And so the family alliance, and so he's there, he's lazy, he's doing his thing, whatever. But at some point, he got to go. You know, whether he goes finds a new female lion, right, a lioness, right. So whether he go finds another lion, or whether a younger lions come through and chase him off and say, "I'm taking over," your family, and so uh, that's just how it works. And guys are still in a relationship, and that relationship is over. And was it the OJs? And I'm not, but I want to remind you of certain songs back in the day, because they really don't sing that kind of stuff down. But songs back in the day, you could understand and get into it. But it's true. And so one song I remember with the OJs. The OJs from Ohio. I've seen them plenty of times in person, but that's another story. But they have this one song said, "Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town." And that's saying the relationship is over. You're with somebody, but that's not where you want to be. And at the same time, married or single, or you're single, even though you're in a relationship, you're living together, you had somebody's babies, whatever, right? But married or single, I believe, this is Mike Gilcreast, all right? I can't prove this by any of my studies, my counseling classes. I can't prove this. It's just Mike Gilcreast, and based on my experience, you know, and based on even in my book, in the circumstances I've been in, that woman knows already that relationship is over. And she knows. I talked to a woman, and she was 22 years old, and I met her up in Fort Walton Beach, and like I said, names not important, but uh, uh, um, I asked her, and I do this with everybody. I say, "You married or single?" And it kind of remind me, not exactly, because I tell you, people, I say I like Kevin Samuels, not for everything that he stood for, but I like his approach of telling women the truth. But his truth sometimes to me was a little too far fetched, because I don't believe like that. I think everybody has opportunity, whether they messed up their life or have kids or whatever, or if they 5'4" and weigh 200 pounds, and so I think love is love, because I look at couples. Sometimes I see the wife; she like 3 times the size of the man, and so for me, and they're happy, they're holding hands and just happy. So I don't believe that myth that what Kevin Samuels put up. Even though he put out a lot of good stuff, I agree with a good part of his material. It's just some things when you come to minimizing people, especially women, I got problems with that, because I think people are people, and we all messed up. I know I have, and but we want to put that out. We want to put that out there. But I think at the same time, women know when that relationship is over. As I was saying about the 22-year-old woman, who I asked her, I say, "Are you married or single?" And she was so happy. She said, "I'm engaged. I'm engaged." And so she was happy to be engaged, right? And so moving forward. And so I said, "Okay, my next question, right?" I said, "How long you been engaged?" And she said, 2 years. Okay, now I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. My next question, and I do this for everybody, this will always be my next question, right? And so my next question was, "When's the wedding? You've been engaged 2 years. When's the wedding?" And she said, "We don't have a date." I told her next out of my mouth, because I lived the story. If you read my book, you'll understand why I'm saying this. I told her, I said, "You are an option. You are an option." And I say, and now I didn't just leave her hanging. I say, start looking at your relationship. Because the question was, how you know when your relationship is over? So I'm giving you a perfect example. I start to ask, I say, look at your relationship. I guarantee you, because we see it, but we don't pay attention to it. Oh, you're just joking. Oh, you're just a mess. And you play it all. But dude trying to tell you in real life, I'm cheating on you, but he won't come out and say I'm cheating. So I'm putting the game out. I'm writing this book for women, and y'all gonna see some of the stuff in here. Be like, wow. And I'll probably be on every stage. I mean, you never know. We supposed to be. We're working on a big time TV interview right now. I'm not going to tell you the name until I get accepted and go forth, so forth and so on. And but my package is in, and they have a copy of my book. So we pray to God that it works out, and I'll be able to do my TV interview. And so that's down the line. And so I lived that situation she was in. I didn't engage, but I would live with a woman before my wife, right? And I didn't even know my wife when I met this other woman, but we were living together. And I'll break it down for you. I was separated from my wife and living with another woman because me and my wife, we split up. And this is not the path to go. I'm not advising anybody to do this. And so I was living with her. And so in order to keep her stringing along, and my wife calls it the hush ring. She said, that's the hush ring. But I always I said, we're going to look at rings. And so she get excited. I'm like, we're going to dinner and da, 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 da. And so you got to read the book because I'm not going to spill all the beans with it. And I'm just telling you how I set her up. And I wasn't staying. So when you say this, I tell you, don't not ask the question if you don't want the truth, because I bring it forth and let you know. Because I call myself a dog, but I was really nice about it. So I call myself sometimes a puppy dog, But I took advantage of my situation as me being, the player that I was, or female, what do you call it, a womanizer, or whatever you want to call it. I was that guy, and but she strung along. I was leaving her, telling her I was going on assignment, and I was going to going to DC from Connecticut to see Melody. And so Melody, I'm like, I'm lying, saying I'm losing money. I'm not even getting paid because I took off my job. If you're not there, you don't get paid. And I'm going to see Mel. But I strung along because I'm like, Lord have mercy. Yeah, like Bishop, you are a mess. But that's all before me becoming a bishop and a pastor and a minister. But I'm not the only one to do stuff like this. I'm just vocal about it. It's not a badge of honor. I didn't like that life I was in. Even though I was doing that mess, I was looking for love, but I messed up people's lives along the way to get there. But the person I was living with, she was, you know, she was mischief in her own way as well. But that's another story. But the thing is, like I told the girl, I say, start looking at your relationship. She start fixing. You know how people start looking and their face changes and expressions, and her smile wasn't a smile when she started looking and saying something ain't right. You know, don't let these guys play games on you, and you think, oh, this man loved me. Well, if he loved you and you living with him, he should have married you. So they ain't love. You're an option. And I guarantee you, any guy out there, I'm telling you, if he married you, he living with you, and I can't speak to everybody, but I'll say over 90%, because there might be an exception, because the guy could have been on the other side. But anyway, that's another story. And so the dude got somebody else. If you're living together, people look at your life, look at the relationship. I guarantee you'll be like, oh, don't hate me. Send more people, because more people like, you better hear this guy. I'm putting the game on blast. Because I live that life. If you don't let me live with you and I get all the benefits of a wife, why not go cheat? Seriously. Why not have somebody on the side? If the relationship is not solidified to have the gauge towards marriage, nothing else is worth it. I learned as a teenager, 18 years old, why buy the cow and you get the milk free? If women want to just give it up, just to give it up here, how can you look for a brighter path? Save yourself for that one, because I'm telling you, if you trust God, you pray that one will come. But don't get all used up, and then you meet the guy you love and say, I got to tell you something. I hate to inform you, but I have AIDS because you want to be wild and fancy free, because you want to have a good time. For what? I tell people all the time, and you'll hear it, and it might get picked up, but you could do bad all by yourself. So relationships are over many times over. And the thing is, most women know. Some women, quite hardly, have been caught off guard, and had no idea that their significant other was cheating. Very few, but I give credit to some women. Some women are so I don't want to say gullible or naive, but they so in love that they trust that their partner, that they're going to be faithful. But I think that's a small percentage of people like that. You know, don't go buck wild sleeping with whoever you want to sleep with and think you're going to end up at the light of tunnel. The thing is, from a Christian standpoint, every time you lay down with somebody and you have sex, you're actually practicing marriage. Back in the Bible days, they didn't have ceremonial type marriages. You know, the man meet the woman and they kept together, and that they were married. You know, nowadays, the one thing when you do relationships, you're having sex, you're doing all sorts of stuff, you're actually practicing divorce because it's so easy to get up and walk away from it. You done gave all your best parts, and now he walks away from you. That hurts. I know it hurts. I did it. I saw the tears. I'm not just talking to you. I'm talking to you firsthand. It is not easy for anyone, any female, especially even the younger, but you could be any age. It's devastating. I'm telling you, the reason I'm so passionate about it now, because I still remember the tears, not from one female, but multiple females who cried, pleaded, begging me, don't leave me. I'm like, whoa. You know, I never knew, I didn't feel what they were feeling. And I'll tell you, guys have like a different type of conscience, you know, and if they don't think about it, it doesn't bother them to sleep around with other people. Don't give yourself to nobody until after the wedding. And if your relationship is not gauged toward a marriage, leave. I'm serious, leave. Get out of that. You like, I'm with him because he gonna pay my electric bill. Well, cut back your food, right? Pay your tithes, offerings, right? And stop hanging out. You don't need to buy cigarettes. You don't need to buy alcohol. It's the stuff you think you need, and pay your own electric bill. You see what I'm saying? And you don't have to give yourself up for electric bill or water bill or put gas in the car. That's a prostitute. You're not no prostitute. You shouldn't have to give your body to pay bills. And I'm not saying everybody does that. I'll tell you, truth be told, you know, there are women out there, you ain't got to give them nothing and you can still get the body. So and I'm just being nice. I'm talking about all of it, you know. And I tell women all the time, and at my book signings, I'm talking to mothers, I'm talking to daughters, I'm talking to fathers, I'm talking to their daughters. And I tell them all the time, I say the ladies make it too easy for guys. They make it too easy. If the women say no and put a standard to sexuality, to relationship, to I'm not doing nothing, and keep your virginity, and even get to the wedding altar and say, you know what? I'm saving myself till the man asks me, will he marry me? And you bring value to that relationship. And meanwhile, you get to know who you partner with. And so the journey's not so hard. The trust is built up. It's terrible to get in a relationship and you have sex with somebody and you don't have no trust because you got dogged on the last relationship. I'm telling you, I can speak this stuff because I lived that life. You know, I'm not shamefaced. I'm not ashamed of where I, because I know where I am. I know what I've done. I know who I am. I know what I'm what I have now in this relationship. She don't look at me and hold my past against me. And a lot of women, I would have had to deal with that and not have a relationship with them because they hold the past against you. And that's not right. You can't hold the past against somebody. You'll never move forward, and no relationship would you be happy in. And the reason I say stuff like this, because I refuse to be with a woman that's going to hold my past against me. You see, the title of my book is Unworthy, Chosen, and Forgiven. And that's a combination. Say I was nothing, and then the big guy up in the sky, God, he looked down on me and chose me out. Or that significant other that you want to be with, from a man to a woman, she chose you. But it's kind of twofold for me, but chosen and then forgiven. And that's twofold. From God forgive me, and from the life I have, my wife forgiven me. And I'm able to move forward that. But I had to soul search to get to where I am today. And so when you look at your relationship, start paying attention. Stop being naive. Signs. Want me to give you some signs? You want me to give you some signs? Do y'all want some signs? And want me to help y'all out, or y'all want me to help y'all? Somebody say something. Let me see if somebody put some comments out. You want some signs? All right, we got this one. We'll get to this question. I'm trying to see if just put out there, say signs. Put something out there so I know you want me to give you a sign, or how you know if a guy cheating. I got to see it. Or I'll move to the next question.
What?
No, I told them if I give them some signs of how they know a guy or a female, but we look at that from a guy's standpoint. So if a guy's cheating, and all right, I'm not going to do it right now. I'll wait till I get somebody to say signs. All right, and so let's get back up here to. I covered a lot, Lord. I always do.
Be in a relationship with 10 plus years and no marriage.
Yeah, here we go. How do someone know their relationship is worth saving, or if they should let it go and move on? Well, if he's cheating for one, it's over. All right. and that's why it's so important. If y'all listen to a lot of my shows, I say some things similar, not exactly the same thing, but remember the time I told you a situation how when I was dating my wife, and I think it's last show, and I said, because I'm used to women begging to be with me, pretty much. I'm serious. I'm not being conceited, anything like that. But women went out their way to plead with me to be with them. And so I was used to that. I'm used to the tears and stuff. But when I met my wife here, and I was at her house up in D.C., and we had a disagreement, to say the least. And I didn't like where she was at, so I made a stance. Well, she made a stance too, right? And so I left. And being that she didn't chase after me, I said this before, right? Uh, um, I stopped and said, huh, she didn't come after me. So I put my tail between her legs. This was that show. I said that last time, exactly like that, right? And knocked on the door and say, we need to talk. I ain't gonna tell you my pride got smashed, right? But I had to talk to her to let her know my stance. But walking away wasn't proving a point, because I would have weakened her if she would have gave in to where I was at. And so how you know for saving? And I gave you an example, but it's because I went back and I knew what I had, and she wasn't like the other women, and she was different. You don't want to, if you've been through a relationships, and hopefully not, because people get in relationships 5, 10, 15, 20 times. That don't make sense. You have nothing to share, nothing to explore, nothing to bring to the table. You want first experience with that guy who put a ring on your finger, for real. And you want to share that with him, your most intimate, passionate moments with him. If you give it to every guy, and the guy knows the guy that you want to be potentially marry, he might say, "Oh man, I had that girl. She ain't nothing." You don't want nobody saying nothing about you like that. I'm talking to women. You don't want nobody spreading talking about you ain't nothing. Because once that thought get in a guy's head, he might not take you serious anymore. He might not want to be with you anymore. He might change his mind about you. And then what you do? You don't want to be community property. All right? You don't want to be community property. Everybody had you got nothing to look forward to. What's your value when you done been with, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50, and some people more than that? Guys, you're not happy doing that. I had all these women, right? And I'll tell you, I just got truth. I was not happy because I had to remember the lies I wasn't comfortable. And I was searching for and trying to find the one, but I went through so many to find one. And I don't remember, I can't remember half the names of people I've known, which means I wasted my time and I wasted their time and potentially messed up their life. So when you know the relationship's over, you know, and nobody says, what's the signs? Oh, somebody did say signs. All right. Well, if the guy, number one, me and my wife, we have the same bank account. We share everything. Her name's on everything. I don't keep nothing from her, right? So that's number one. No, he never wants to go the same place you want to go. He always want to go somewhere separate than you. That's one sign. Not always the case, but that's one sign. I said always. He don't want to be seen with you in public. He don't want nobody to see him hugged up on you. That's a sign. Okay, another sign. If you got your phone, my phone is locked. It's locked. And my grandson's on the front there. But let me get rid of that. But I don't have her open up my phone. Open up my phone. Hold it up so they can see it. Open up my phone. Yeah, swipe up, yeah. My phone is open. She have access to my phone. All right. If I'm in a relationship, and I'm telling you, these are triggers. You have to know what you get into. If you don't trust the person, you shouldn't be in a relationship. All right. She have access to my phone. She could put my pin on. She could answer my phone. Yeah, it's nothing hidden. Yeah, y'all don't go start breaking up over me. I'm giving you. I played the game, so I'm telling you firsthand how it works. When the dude don't want you to share phone numbers, come on, he don't want you seeing his number. I can log into my wife's phone. I can answer her phone. Ain't nobody hanging up when I answer the phone. And so I gave y'all two examples, right? They don't want to go nowhere with you, and they don't want you to log into their phone. All right. And that's being dating. That's not being single. I mean, that's not being married. There's other things to look for when you're married. And so that's it. So you asked for it. That's a loaded question, but let me ask another one. So hopefully I answered the question because I was waiting for somebody to ask because I don't want to waste my time. If you don't want to ask the question, I'm giving you great stuff. I got a book out there. I'm an author. And so I'm telling you like it is. I got men crying and saying my book saved their marriage. And so I'm telling you, it's not a joke. Lives are changing if you want to be changed. All right. Do you know, what does it say? What does it say? How do you know when a relationship is over? Well, we just talked about that. And so I got to go to this question. Oh, we talked about that. You know if your relationship worth saving. You know the value of the person. Add it up. Look at all the good, look at all the bad, and say, is this person worth being with or not? You know, all right? You're not going to waste if you go to the store and they don't have what you want, what you doing? You're leaving and going somewhere else. You're not going to waste your time looking for something they don't have when you know they ain't got it. When the person you're dating, if they ain't got it, they ain't got it. Before you start dating, what I tell you? What do I tell you? Y'all better start writing notes and let me know that y'all got it. Before you start dating, you have to write you a list down and know what you want. Write your list. So when you see these traits happening, you're going to be like, I don't want this guy. I don't want that girl. I don't want none of that. And so you got to look at, I'm giving you basic stuff to look at. I'm not even into deep stuff because the deep stuff is going to be heavy stuff going to be in my next books. And but I'm giving you stuff because I have a talk show and I'm keeping it interested. And the questions are fantastic. And people want to know. I'm giving it. But don't say, oh, Bishop. Some people call me Bishop. Somebody say, on the Mike Gilcreast show or whatever, right? Say, he discussed this. That. I don't have one truth for everybody. Everything's different, but I'm just telling you how it is for me. I lived the life. I lived the life in relationship. It doesn't matter if it was interracial relationship. It don't matter if it's international relationship. It don't matter if it's your same cultural relationship. I had it. I've been there, done that. And so I'm sharing it with you. I believe love is love, no matter how you look at it. If I'm in a relationship, my wife gets to look at my phone, period. We play if you're playing marriage, no, they may not get to look at your phone because you got to get married to do that, to get that privilege. But a lot of times, if when you're free in your relationship, you don't hide nothing. And the thing is, it can't be one-sided. You can't say, I need to look at your phone, but you can't look at mine. Now that's not gonna work. That's not fair. So whatever your requirement is, you must meet them the same accordingly. Give them what you want. If you want to look at their phone, they should be able to look at your phone. Period. All right. So that's that. All right. Well. The number one thing for me, and this question here is where you most value. I'll give y'all some great answers today. I feel good. All right, just so you know. And let me put this up. What do you most value in a relationship? Well, that depends on y'all. Remember, I told you when I ask the guy question, it's a married answer, it's a single answer, and so you got to know where you. And so for me, my most value in any relationship, number one, is respect. Number two, it's my time. I don't want to waste my time. Number three, I have to have potential. So I'm giving you my list because I wrote my list down. I know what I want. Seriously, I know what I value. I'm not going into any relationship, even right now with my wife. She knows my expectation. I have expectation to be married to this wife. She have expectation because if she didn't, I could do what I want to do, and I can't do what I want to do. If I said it, I'll be lying. You know, and not only my wife, I have to answer to God. All right, and so on top of that. And so you have to see what you value. When you get to a relationship, do you love him being around you? Do you love him telling you jokes? Does he treat you like a queen? I take my wife out to dinner. I don't even need a reason. See what I'm saying? We travel, we take a vacation. We don't need a holiday to take a vacation. All right. I would need to take one now. And so it's like find a place, let's go, whatever, right? And so I have that. I'm free. I'm in a relationship and I'm free. I can be spontaneous. I could be on the moment. I could be in the last minute, whatever. I could plan it. I could not plan it, whatever. That's being spontaneous. And so I have that. I'm free. I ain't in bondage. I ain't in a relationship. And I'm like, I can't say this around my wife. I can't talk like this around my wife. That my wife don't have to be like, I can't wear this around my husband. I can't do. We're free. I know what she wants, and she knows what I want. No double standards here. All right. And so, somebody said, yes, songs back in the day had a lot of meaning. It did. Because everybody hurts. Everybody hurts. Everybody hurts. And sometimes songs soothes the spirit, soothes that mode, and you go forward, all right? And so when a man cheats, oh my God, how did we get here? I've been talking about it, right? And so I might have to put it back up there. Uh, um, when a man cheats, and we're going to go in depth with this, all right, just a little bit, all right. Why won't he leave his wife and go with the other woman? Why do they beg to stay? Ah, ah, Why y'all give me questions like this? Lord have mercy, Jesus. And the thing is, oh man, I've been on both sides. And you asking them, a guy that used to cheat. I was a notorious cheater, seriously. And that's why I'm so free to answer these questions. That's why I'm so free at doing this. I did it. And generally speaking, and as one man can't speak for all men, but one man can speak for a lot of men. Seriously. And if you look at men, most of us are logical and we do the same thing. And a lot of times, I'll tell you, men cheat for various reasons. For real. It's a whole number of reasons. If they're cheating, sometimes they could be with a woman and it's nothing to do with sex. It's just that woman gives him peace that he's not getting at home. All right. And uh, uh, I'm giving you that. All right. It's like I said, it depends on how you want to play this question. Because I cheated as being married to my first wife, and I cheated when I was living with another woman. I cheated when I was living with someone else. I cheated when I was just dating girls. I cheated on the people that I'm cheating with. I was cheating on them. So I cheated in this there, and no matter what level, probably 6 levels deep, I was cheating. So I say that to give a premise that I understand what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying words. I lived a life, and so I'm explaining me, and to speak for not all men, but most men, because I represent a lot of most men, not all men, but most men. And because some men are gay, some men don't are single and don't want to get married, and so I don't represent all men. And huh? Oh, um, when a man cheats and get caught, all right, did you catch him in the act? So you got to look at that. Did I get caught in a lie? Did I get caught? It's so many ways to look at this, and sometimes you can emotionally cheat. Oh my God, and that's deep because it's like I'm with my wife, but I don't want to be with my wife. I want to be with her. And every time with my wife, I'm thinking about her. And so that's emotionally cheating. And that's sin too, also, because the Bible says if you lust within your heart, you sin against God. So that's that. And so it's all kinds of cheat. If you call him in the act, it doesn't matter if you want to stay. If you want a divorce, biblically speaking, you could get a divorce. Period. You have a right to be divorced. But if you didn't catch him and you allow him to stay, that's because you're not sure. And if you're not sure, then you can't do nothing about it because you need facts to say you absolutely cheat me. If I see you with a woman and you're in bed or you all up over her, then it is what it is. I could grab this one. I could be all in her face. But these questions, I'm answering it roundabout because you say, I caught my husband cheating. He was in the act or whatever. I can answer that in a different way. And but if it's caught in just circumstantial, is not proof. And so it depends on how you want to do it. You pray, you leave, or you assume. If you assume and it's not right, then it's a lie. And so you have to answer to God for that because that's falsely accusing. So it's many ways to look at it. And that's why I'm giving you all these scenarios. So when you ask your questions, you have to be specific because I could give you a general answer and go from there. But a perfect sign of cheating, not absolute, but a perfect sign, right? So let's say 99.9. And if a guy don't let you in his phone, that's a perfect sign. If you're married and you don't share everything together, that's a perfect sign. But if you're the type of wife that would take the money and go spend it, vicariously and wasteful and like the prodigal son kind of thing, I got it why you have separate accounts. But other than that, I think husband and wife should have one account, period. And if you don't trust each other, have one account together and then have your own. But nobody should you should watch how you spend the money and answer to each other on how you spend it. Me and my wife have a $50 rule. If I have spent more than $50 or I gave $50 or more to someone else, I have to let her know. More than $50. We have a $50 rule. And same for her. It don't matter who it is. Ain't no sneaking like, oh, don't tell your husband, oh, don't tell your wife. We don't play that. We keep everything honest. And if you present it right, if it's not none, it won't be none. And so you don't have to look for none coming. But we don't play that game, and we don't have problems with money. We share everything. We don't like If she need me to go to the bank, my wife doesn't work. She quit her job, making more money than me. But she say, I need money. Hey, what I got is yours. But that's how it should be. I take care of mine. I believe that wholeheartedly because that's the kind of man I am. See what I'm saying? And so I think it's my obligation to take care of my wife, take care of my kids, whatever. So that's my obligation. I don't have children anymore. I have men, and so I don't, that obligation is gone. And so, but I have obligation to my wife and to the church and the members and so forth, so on. And so that's what that stands. So hopefully I answered your question. I gave you pointers. I gave you points of views and stuff, but you have to be more descriptive and with facts, not circumstances, not hypothetical. It need to be facts and say, I actually caught it, and so you act accordingly. But if you wholeheartedly believe this guy cheat on you and he has sex with somebody else, you're free to go. Regardless that he wants to stay or leave or whatever, you decide because life gets hard, not just for you financially, potentially, right? But for the kids as well. And so if you have kids, and so that's what it's not an easy journey. I've been there. I left my wife and she had a kid, and today me and my son, we don't have the best relationship. I would love to have a relationship with my son, but I gotta wait till time. And I don't give my son back his words. He say time heals all things. And so I actually picked it up because I'm like, that makes sense. And it is what it is. But I love my son, seriously, and love my other son. And so love my grandkids. So it is what it is. They have to, figure out life for themselves as I had to do for myself. But I'm here. They know I'm here. I'm easy to find, whatever. But I kiss up to no one. I don't care who it is. I'm not kissing. I don't care if you're the bishop. I don't care if you're the president. I don't care who you are, except God and His angel. I kiss up to no one. I'm not doing that. Life been hard enough for me as it has been, and I'm not kissing up just to try to tame this, that, and other out of life. All right, and so that's what that stands for me. So hopefully I asked all the questions why we won't leave, but you got to find out what the reasons are for why you suspect the cheating. And if you're not solidified or validated in that answer, then you have to wait if you want to do it the right way, or you can separate if you want to do it that way. But like I said, at the end of the day, it's hard on the kids, and then you figure out. And so if they beg to stay, a lot of times if they beg to stay, some guys truly have messed up, and so if they want to stay, it's because they messed up and they don't want to lose. They realize they got a good thing, but I didn't seen that kind of stuff happen as well. I've seen it play out as a pastor, and I've seen it play out just in my personal life, and sometimes men will have sex with somebody else and cry to stay back with you, and then you give it 6 months to a year or 2 years or whatever, they done have sex again with somebody else. So you just gotta know what you're working with. I'm just calling it like it is, and so and you go from there. I hope I answer that question. Let's see where we at. Oh my God, no way it's been an hour. And so I'll answer one more question. And I do not believe, because I try to keep within an hour and sometimes longer, depends on the topic. But we're back Sunday, and please invite your friends. Tell everyone to subscribe and bring the questions, and so we can go forth and stuff like that. Subscribe and continue to do. These are great questions. Love it. And so you have to love it too. And the last question I'll put up, what is it? What is it? And we're going to hit that. Do you believe in love at first? I do. This question's asked to me before. I believe I had that with my wife here, with Melody, right here. You see Melody? I believe I have that with her. Seriously. Uh, uh, um, you got to know where you are for real. And so I was in my 30s, I met her. I'm in my 60s now. And so I believe in love at first sight. I think it exists for a reason, but in the Bible, I think it exists in the Bible as well. And with Solomon and the Sophonian woman, and then the um, uh, uh, Isaac and Rebecca. And so the Bible, when he saw her, she got off her horse, whatever, and they went into the tent. He knew her, and which means they got together. They had intimate relationship, and she was his wife. And I think love at first sight is one of the best things out there for those that understand it. You know, not this petty stuff that's going on, and people have no foundation. They don't even have good game, and so people, oh, he loved me, and then it's a lot of times it's the biggest mess you ever met. You know, because people want to, try to do this love at first sight stuff without substance. When it happened for me, I knew exactly what I wanted, and I was on the path to where I was going. And so in saying that, I'm here 30 years later. So I believe I would have married her on my first day I met her, for real. It just she made that type of impression on me, and I wasn't even ready. I still was a mess, but she's the one I want. I just knew. All right, and so that's all I'm going to say for now. I appreciate everybody, tuning in. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Tell folks about this. Bring the conversations. We talk about any relationship. I don't care if you're 75 years old. Bring it. I don't care if you think you know what you're doing and you're 16 years old. Bring it. And if you've been doing it and you think you know where you want to go, bring it. Because I want to be able to appease everyone, so I have other things to do and we have to get up early in the morning. I have to drive down to Melbourne one more day, but we're planning to be back Sunday at 8 p.m. And oh, Sunday's Easter. Let's cancel that because I want people to spend time with their family for Easter. Uh, um, I would say if tomorrow is possible instead of Sunday, in lieu of Sunday, we'll try tomorrow. If not, it's typically Monday. If it's not Monday to replace Sunday, then Wednesday. And but Easter is Sunday. And I was remiss, and we will bypass this Sunday just because it's Easter, Resurrection Sunday, or Easter Sunday, however you want to look at it. But celebrate that. I think we're going out to dinner with one of our potential members, and we're looking to do that. So praise God as we go forth in Jesus' name. Continue to keep me lifted up. Pray for me. And continue to tell people about the Mike Gilcreast show. Here on YouTube, and other channels as well. And so we're here, bring the light, share people about my book. The book is pretty awesome. I mean, you're talking to an author live on the Mike Gilchrist show. You're talking to an author, so that's a great joy. I think So I'm like, I can talk to an author, and I talk about real stuff, and so that's important as well. So I appreciate everyone, and I tell you, as I always say, um, faith connected to the power of words bring forth the reality of God. And so I believe that. Take care until next time, and we will continue to press forward. All right, bring the questions, and I will try to come on Saturday. Saturday's going to be tight for me, but if I could get on, it may be a little bit earlier. But we will see how things flow and go from there. And if not Monday, all right, if not Monday, Wednesday. So tune in, and I'll post it out here. But actually, I can't post it because the dates may change. So I would try to. I think tomorrow Saturday. Oh, tomorrow I'm doing the book signing. See, that's what I do. I'm not back till late, so I can't do it tomorrow because I have to get ready for church as well on Sunday. And so Sunday's out because it's Easter. So Saturday out, Sunday out. So potentially Monday, if not Monday, Wednesday. Okay. So I just cleared it up myself. I'm thankful that the thought came to my mind. So I'm going to share it. I know you're looking forward to it, but you have time. Enjoy your Easter or Resurrection Sunday, however you want to look at it. Enjoy that day. If you haven't been to church in a while, go to church. If you're in the area of Orlando, Florida, come to our church, and I'm going to post it out here so you'll be able to see it. And go from there. But I think it's pretty dynamic. But yeah, come and check me out. And you can see me live and in person and go from there. But this is our information about our church. So please, you can take a picture of that. And all of our information is on there. It's a beautiful flyer. This was given to us from Bishop C.R. Hardy, out of Faith Assembly, New Covenant Assembly Church up in Columbia, South Carolina. But Bishop C.R. Hardy, see his name at the top. He's the second in charge of our organization. So he blessed us with this flyer. So I'm giving credit to him for that. But take a picture of it and come and see it. Surprise us. I would love to see you out there as you bring your gifts, talent, and come and help us. Praise God. And who never know, this way I may be your next pastor, right? And so we put it out there. I want you. You could snap a picture on your phone so you'll have it and go from there, and you'll be able to do great things with it. Pretty awesome, huh? And so we put it out. I want to share everything. I want you to know who I am. I want to make myself amendable, available to you, and let you know I care about you. I want to pray for you. And people I met today, oh my God, I met some pretty awesome people all day long, and plan to meet some more tomorrow. And so no weekend I will not be back online. Potentially Monday, we go from there. All right, so let me take this down and go from there. And so move on with the remainder of our show. So we enjoy each of you. Thank you, and thank you. Don't remember, faith connect to the power words, brain forth the reality of God. Mm. It's acting weird. Let's try it one more time.